Captain Li Jun walked through the grand hall of the Vorin diplomatic palace. Tall windows let in golden light that reflected off the polished floor. His Blue Earth uniform stood out among the purple and silver clothing of the aliens around him. "Remember," whispered Officer Bay at his side, "smile but not too wide. The Vorin think showing teeth is rude." June nodded slightly. 6 months of careful talks had led to this moment. Earth needed allies in this sector of space, and the Vorin Empire controlled most of the trade routes. The hall fell silent as Emperor Dak entered. He was taller than the other Vorin, with ridged skin that shifted from deep purple to blue depending on the light. 4 guards walked with him, carrying a large box made of some shining material. "Captain Li Jun of Earth," the Emperor's voice boomed through the translator device at his neck. "Your people have proven their worth by defending our ships from the space pirates." June bowed at the exact angle they had practiced. "The alliance between our worlds benefits us both, Your Majesty." The Emperor's mouthparts clicked in what the humans had learned was a sign of agreement. He waved a long-fingered hand at the box's guards now placed on the floor between them. "It is our way to reward great service with a great gift," said the Emperor. "I present to you a companion of the highest quality." June's smile froze. He glanced at Bay, whose eyes had widened in alarm. "A companion?" June asked carefully. "A personal attendant. What you might call." The Emperor paused while his translator searched for the right word. "A concubine." The room grew very quiet. June could hear the soft hum of the air systems. "This is unexpected, Your Majesty," June said, trying to keep his voice steady. "In our culture, we do not." "She is from the Terra people," the Emperor continued as if June hadn't spoken. "They have served the Vorin Empire for generations. This one was raised in the palace. She speaks many languages and has been trained to please." Bay stepped forward. "Your Majesty, while we deeply appreciate your generosity, human customs regarding. Do you refuse our highest honor?" The Emperor's skin darkened, a sign of displeasure they had been warned about. June quickly cut in. "We are overwhelmed by your kindness, Emperor Dak. We will accept this gift with the respect it deserves." The tension in the room eased. The Emperor's skin lightened again. "The ceremony is complete," he announced. "The box will open only to your touch, Captain. It is coded to your genetic pattern, which we collected from your earlier visits." June tried not to think about the implications of that as he bowed again. The guards placed the box on a hovering platform and moved it toward the humans. "Return to your ship and enjoy your reward," the Emperor said before turning to leave with his court following behind him. As soon as they were alone with the box, Bay exploded in a harsh whisper. "We cannot accept a person as property. Earth law forbids it. Not to mention basic human decency." "I know that," June said sharply. "But refusing would have ended the alliance before it began." He looked at the strange box. "We'll take it to the ship and figure out what to do next. Maybe we can offer asylum." The trip back to their shuttle was tense. For Earth security officers surrounded the hovering platform with the box, watching for any signs of danger. The diplomatic team walked ahead, already composing messages to Earth Command about this development. Once aboard the shuttle, June ordered the box secured in the cargo hold for the journey back to the Harmony. "Sir," called a security officer halfway through the flight. "The box is making sounds." June hurried to the cargo hold. The box sat quietly, its surface gleaming under the lights. Then he heard it, a soft voice coming from inside. "Hello? I know someone is there. I can hear you breathing." The voice was clear and calm, speaking perfect English without any translation device. "I understand your confusion," the voice continued. "But I am not what the Emperor described." June approached cautiously. "Who are you?" "My name is Song. And if you want to know the truth about why I was sent to you, you need to unbox me." June looked at Bay, who had followed him into the cargo hold. "It could be a trap," she warned. From inside the box, Song spoke again. "It is a trap, but not the kind you think. The Emperor has plans for Earth that you need to know about. As the shuttle docked with the Harmony, June made his decision. Secure a containment room. We're opening the box. June stood in the ship's secure room with Bay and 2 armed security officers. The mysterious box sat on a table in the center, its surface reflecting the bright lights overhead. All scans show one life form inside, said Medical Officer Nam, checking his tablet. Humanoid, female, no weapons detected. June nodded. Record everything. If this goes wrong, Earth Command needs to know what happened. He stepped forward and placed his hand on the box. The surface felt warm under his palm. A soft light appeared where he touched it, spreading across the box in a web-like pattern. With a gentle hiss, the top split open. Everyone tensed, hands near weapons. Slowly, the sides of the box folded down like petals of a flower opening. Inside sat a woman. Her skin was pale blue with a slight shimmer. Her eyes were large and dark with silver flecks that seemed to move like stars. Her black hair was pulled back from her face. She wore simple white clothes that looked like a uniform. The woman blinked at the bright lights and then looked directly at June. Captain Lee June, she said in a clear voice. Thank you for opening the box. You know my name, June said, keeping his distance. Yes. I was briefed about you and your ship. The woman stood slowly, her movements graceful and careful. She was shorter than June had expected, barely reaching his shoulder. The security officers raised their weapons. I am unarmed, she said calmly, holding out her hands. My name is Song. I was sent as what the Emperor calls a gift, but that is not what I am. What are you then? They asked sharply. I am Terra. My people were conquered by the Vorin 300 years ago. We serve them because we must. Song's face showed no emotion, but her voice carried a hint of bitterness. I was raised in the palace as part of the Emperor's household. And he just gave you away? June asked. He believes he did, yes. Song's mouth curved in a small smile. The Emperor thinks I am a loyal servant sent to spy on humans. He thinks I will report your weaknesses back to him. The humans exchanged glances. Why are you telling us this? Nam asked. Because I have my own plans. Song looked around the room, taking in the technology and the people. The Emperor has never met a species like yours before. You fight differently. You think differently. It scares him. June crossed his arms. So what are you really? A spy for your own people? Song shook her head. Not exactly. I am an opportunity. Both for myself and for you. She took a step forward, and the guards tensed again. I have information about the Vorin Empire that your people need. Military positions. Weaknesses. Future plans. And what do you want in return? They asked. Freedom, Song said simply. For myself first. For my people eventually. June studied her face. The translator called you a concubine. Song's expression hardened. The translation was deliberately misleading. My official title is Cultural Liaison. The Emperor wanted you to see me as property, not as a person with knowledge and skills. Nam stepped closer with a medical scanner. May I? Song nodded. Nam ran the device over her, checking the readings. She's definitely not Vorin, he confirmed. Different genetic structure entirely. Closer to human than Vorin, actually. The Terra were a free people once, Song said. We had our own world, our own government. The Vorin took that from us. They use us as servants, laborers, and... She paused. Other things. You said the Emperor is afraid of humans, June said. Why? Your battle with the pirates 3 months ago. You destroyed 12 ships with only 3 of your own. Song's eyes gleamed with something like admiration. The Vorin would have lost at least 10 ships in such a fight. Your tactics were unpredictable. Your technology is different from ours. So he sent you to learn about us? Yes. But I have no intention of reporting back what he wants to hear. Song's voice grew stronger. I want to help you understand what you're dealing with. The Empire is not the ally you think it is. June looked at Bei, who still seemed suspicious. How do we know we can trust you? Bei asked. Song held out her arm, showing a line of small scars. Each mark is a Terra who died serving the Emperor's household during my lifetime. I carry their names on my skin. Her eyes met June's. I have no loyalty to the Vorin. Only to my people and now, perhaps, to those who might help us. The room fell silent as June considered her words. Tell me everything, he finally said. Song sat at the table in June's private meeting room. 3 days had passed since she arrived on the Harmony. The ship's officers gathered around her, faces serious as they studied the star map she had drawn. The Vorin have military bases here, and here, she said, pointing to 3 points on the map. They are hidden from normal scans by special shields. June leaned forward. How many ships at each base? Between 15 and 20 warships. Plus smaller fighting craft. Song's fingers traced a line between the bases. They form a triangle around your planned trade route. Officer Bei, who still watched Song with suspicious eyes, spoke up. And you know this because... I was educated to serve in the palace, Song replied calmly. We are taught everything about the Empire so we can better serve the noble families. I worked in military communications before I was moved to the Emperor's personal household. Chief Engineer Park whistled softly. That's a lot of firepower for a supposed ally to hide. Song nodded. The Emperor has never planned to honor your treaty. He sees humans as a threat to be contained. The treaty was just to keep you calm while he prepared. The room grew quiet as the humans considered this information. Why should we believe you? Bei asked. This could be false information to lead us into a trap. Song turned to face her. If I wanted to trap you, I would tell you the Vorin are weak and trustworthy. I would not reveal their strength. She has a point, said Security Chief Min. June walked to the window that looked out at the stars. What does the Emperor really want? Your technology, Song answered. Specifically, your faster-than-light drive system. It's more efficient than anything the Vorin have. And your weapons. She paused. The Emperor was impressed by how quickly your ships destroyed the pirates. Those weren't pirates, June said, turning back to face the group. Were they? Song's mouth curved in a small smile. No. They were Vorin ships disguised as pirates. The Emperor wanted to test your capabilities. The officers exchanged shocked looks. So those crews died just for a test? Park asked, his voice rising in anger. The Vorin do not value life the way humans do, Song said simply. Especially not the lives of those they consider below them. June returned to the table. What's the Emperor's plan? When will he move against us? Soon. Within 10 days. Song pointed to another spot on the map. He will invite your fleet to a special ceremony here, at the Sacred Moon. It's a great honor that would be suspicious to refuse. But the location will put your ships at a disadvantage, surrounded by the hidden bases. And once we're trapped, they strike, Min said grimly. Song nodded. The Emperor believes humans are dangerous because you are unpredictable. But he also thinks you are naive. Too trusting. What about your people? June asked. The Terra. Where do they stand in all this? Something flickered in Song's eyes. We have been slaves for 3 centuries. Some have forgotten what freedom feels like. Others. She touched the scars on her arm. Others remember our old stories and wait for a chance. A chance for what? Bei asked. To fight back. Song leaned forward. There are Terra on every Vorin ship, in every base. We are the workers, the servants. The ones no one pays attention to. We see everything. We hear everything. June studied her face. You're not just looking for personal freedom. You want a rebellion. I want justice, Song corrected. The Vorin took our world and made us into things. Not people. Chief Min shook his head. Even if everything you say is true, we can't fight the entire Vorin Empire. We're just one Earth fleet. You don't need to fight the entire empire, Song said. Just create enough chaos to force the Emperor to negotiate. The Vorin respect strength. Show them yours, and they will listen. June tapped the table, thinking hard. If we expose their trap before it's sprung, then we have leverage, Park finished. They still looked doubtful. Or we walk right into their real trap. Song turned to her. Officer Bay, your caution is wise. In your position, I would feel the same. She pulled a small device from her pocket and placed it on the table. This contains the communication codes for the Vorin fleet. Test them. Verify what I've told you. The room fell silent again. If we do this, June said slowly, if we help you, what happens to the Terra? Song's eyes met his, steady and determined. We take back our future. And Earth gains an ally who will never forget who helped them win their freedom. June nodded. We need a plan. The Harmony moved slowly toward the sacred moon, leading 3 other Earth ships. The giant silver moon hung in space like a perfect sphere, surrounded by small Vorin vessels. Colored lights decorated the ceremonial platforms built on the moon's surface. On the bridge, Captain June stood with his hands behind his back, face calm despite the tension in his shoulders. Song stood beside him, now wearing an Earth uniform adjusted to fit her smaller frame. They're scanning us, reported Communications Officer Park. Standard security protocols, according to their message. Let them look, June said quietly. They won't find anything unusual. Song's eyes were fixed on the viewscreen. The Emperor's personal ship is there. The large one with the purple lights. June nodded. For 7 days they had prepared, using Song's knowledge to create a plan that seemed impossible. Earth Command had been skeptical but ultimately approved the risky strategy. Captain, Park called out, we're receiving a transmission from Emperor Dak. On screen, June ordered. The Emperor's face appeared, his skin shifting between deep purple and blue. Captain Lee June. We welcome you to the Sacred Moon Ceremony. This honor has never before been extended to non-Vorin species. We are deeply grateful, Your Majesty, June replied with a perfect bow. My crew and I look forward to strengthening our alliance. The Emperor's mouth parts clicked. Indeed. Please bring your command staff to the surface. The ceremony begins in 1 hour. His eyes shifted to Song. I see my gift serves you well. June felt Song stiffen beside him, but her face remained expressionless. She has been most helpful in teaching us Vorin customs. Excellent. We will meet soon. The transmission ended. He's suspicious, Song said immediately. He expected me to have contacted him by now with information. Then we proceed as planned, June said. He turned to his crew. All stations, prepare for Protocol Sunrise. Communications, send the signal to the fleet. The bridge crew moved with practiced efficiency. No one spoke of their fear, though June could see it in their eyes. If Song was wrong or lying, they would all die today. 40 minutes later, June led a small team to the shuttle bay. Song, Bay, and 2 security officers would accompany him to the surface. The rest of the plan depended on perfect timing. As their shuttle approached the moon, June glanced at Song. Are you ready? She nodded once. My people have been ready for 300 years. The landing platform was crowded with Vorin officials in ceremonial armor. Guards directed the humans to a grand hall carved into the moon's surface. Emperor Dak sat on a temporary throne at the far end, surrounded by advisors. Captain Lee June, the Emperor announced as they approached. Today you join a small group of honored allies in the history of our empire. June bowed again. The people of Earth value this friendship. The Emperor's eyes narrowed slightly. Before we begin the ceremony, I would speak with you privately. A matter of mutual security. Of course, June agreed. They were led to a smaller room off the main hall. As soon as the doors closed, the Emperor's manner changed completely. "Where is the information?" he demanded, looming over June. "My gift should have contacted me days ago with reports about your ship's capabilities." June met his gaze steadily. "You mean Song? She told us everything, Your Majesty. About your test with the fake pirates. About your hidden bases surrounding this position. About your plans to steal our technology." The Emperor's skin darkened to almost black with rage. "She will die for this betrayal. And you. Check your fleet, Emperor," June said calmly. "Right now." The Emperor stared at him, then barked an order into his communication device. The response made his skin pale to a sickly blue. "What have you done?" he whispered. "Nothing yet," June replied. "But at this moment, every Terra crew member on every one of your ships has received a message. They're waiting for a signal from Song to act." The Emperor's eyes darted to the door where Song waited outside. "Impossible. The Terra are obedient servants. They have no way to communicate secretly. They've had 300 years to create their own codes and networks," June said. "You never noticed because you never really looked at them as people." At that moment, alarms began blaring throughout the base. The Emperor's device lit up with emergency signals. "Your ships are reporting system failures," June continued. "Nothing dangerous yet. Just a demonstration of what's possible." The Emperor's advisor burst into the room. "Your Majesty. We're receiving reports of Terra workers disrupting operations across the fleet. And the Earth ships have moved into defensive positions around us." The Emperor turned to June, rage and disbelief fighting on his face. "This is the action of a warrior, not a diplomat." "I'm both," June replied. "Now, shall we discuss new terms for our alliance? One that includes freedom for the Terra people?" Outside, the first flash of light appeared as a Voran ship lost power and began to drift. The Great Hall on the Harmony had been transformed for the signing ceremony. Earth flags hung beside newly created Terra banners, blue with silver stars that matched the flecks in their eyes. Representatives from 3 worlds stood in careful groups, the tension in the room almost visible. 2 weeks had passed since the confrontation at the Sacred Moon. 2 weeks of difficult talks, threats, and finally, progress. June adjusted his formal uniform as he watched Emperor Dak enter with his advisors. The Emperor's skin was a controlled shade of purple, hiding his true feelings. 4 Voran guards followed him, their armor less decorative than before, more practical. They had learned respect for human unpredictability. "Captain Lee," the Emperor said with a stiff nod. No friendly use of his full name now. "Emperor Dak," June replied with a correct bow. "Thank you for coming personally." The Emperor's mouthparts clicked in what June now recognized as irritation. "The treaty changes required my presence. This is unprecedented in Voran history." "Many unprecedented things have happened lately," June said diplomatically. The door on the opposite side opened, and Song entered. She wore formal clothes in the Terra style, recovered from historical records. Behind her walked 5 other Terra, chosen to represent their people. They moved with new confidence, heads high. Song approached the center table where the treaty documents waited. Her eyes met June's briefly, and he saw in them a combination of triumph and uncertainty. "Let us begin," said the Earth ambassador who had arrived 3 days ago. The treaty was simple in its terms but revolutionary in its meaning. The Voran Empire would recognize the Terra as a free people with their own government. The Terra homeworld would be returned to their control, though the Voran would maintain certain mining rights. Earth would establish trade agreements with both civilizations and provide protection during the transition period. When it came time to sign, Emperor Dak hesitated, his hand hovering over the document. This changes the structure of our society, he said, his voice low. Many noble families will resist. Then they will face the same choice you did, Song replied calmly. Adapt or fight a war on two fronts. The emperor's skin darkened slightly, but he signed his name. Song signed next, her hand steady. The Earth ambassador signed last. It is done, the ambassador announced. Let this be the beginning of a new era of cooperation between our worlds. The formal reception that followed was stiff but peaceful. June found himself standing by a window with Song, looking out at the stars. Will it work? He asked quietly. The treaty? Song considered the question. The emperor will follow it because he must. He saw what happened when just a fraction of my people acted together. She turned to face him. But true change will take time. Generations, perhaps. You'll lead them through it, June said. It wasn't a question. Song looked down at her hands. I never expected to be a leader. I only wanted freedom. Sometimes we don't choose our roles. Like you, she asked with a small smile. Did you choose to become the human who changed 3 civilizations? June laughed softly. I was just doing my job. Your job was to make a trade agreement. Not start a revolution. They fell silent, watching a small Terra ship pass by the window. It was an old Vorin maintenance vessel, repainted with the new Terra colors. The first of their fleet. What will you do now? Song asked. Now that the crisis is over? Continue exploring. There are other species out here, other worlds to discover. June turned to her. Earth has offered a permanent ambassador position to the Terra nation. I'm considering accepting it. Song's eyes widened slightly. You would stay? Someone needs to help your people navigate the transition. Someone the emperor respects and fears a little. And someone my people trust, Song added softly. Across the room, Emperor Dak was preparing to leave. He glanced over at them, his expression unreadable. He still doesn't understand what happened, Song said. How his gift became his downfall. He thought you were a thing to be given away, June replied. Not a person with her own mind and will. A common mistake of those who rule by taking freedom from others. Song looked around the room at her people, now moving freely among the other species. They forget that chains create dreams of freedom. And that dreams can become actions when the moment is right. The emperor departed with his guards. The Terra representatives gathered together, already discussing plans for their new government. It begins now, Song said, her voice filled with wonder and determination. After 300 years, it finally begins. June watched her face and saw in it the future of a people reborn. No, he corrected gently. It began the moment you said unbox me.